Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. Today we're going to be joined by the infamous, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Spurnandez. What's up, bro?
Hey, ¿cómo estás, homie? What's going on? How's everybody doing out there?
Oh, you know, we're just keeping it puro here, dude. Puro exit 7.
Puro pinche exit 7. Puro marbot.
Hey, man, we got to start the show off by, playing our usual grito. Got to pour some out here for the losers here, and that would be none other than the Texas Rangers. Se lo cagaron los pinche Rangers. So pour some out for the Rangers fans. Pour some out for the pinche Rangers fans, dude. The Rangers se lo cagaron. They lost. And you know what? They lost to the Mariners 0-1. That was all she wrote because the Astros won against the Arizona Diamondbacks 8-1, dude. Freaking Astros, man.
Where's our boy Leja? Where's Chris Leja at?
He's on the road right now. That was his excuse. Yeah. I'm on the road. I can't call in. No, hombre, ya está más crudo que la chingada. He was out there having a good time.
Yeah,
he's probably still trying to sleep it off. Yeah, bro. So congratulations to Astros Nation and Astros fans all across the great state of Texas.
For sure. Hey, for sure.
Their team, the underdogs, they didn't look like they were going to pull it out. They waited to the last freaking possible minute, the last game of the season, and they won. That's all they had to do was win. Hey, man, credit to the Astros. They pulled up, and they did what they needed to do, and the freaking Rangers, once again, they breaking hearts, bro. They had the fans believing.
Right? They did. They did. They.
That means now that the Texas Rangers will go ahead and have to go into the wild card race here.
Right.
And they don't want to do that, dude, because some of these wild card teams, they're pretty damn good, man. Case in point, Tampa Bay Rays. That's a sneaky, damn good team, bro. I have that team coming out of that wild card, coming out of the wild card race, and they could make some noise. So
it's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. They're gonna come in there with some momentum. So hey, it pays to win. You don't got to worry about that stuff. So
it does.
I know my man John Dyer ain't happy about that.
And while looking for the Rangers fans, ¿qué pasó? They were talking a lot of shit over the last couple of weeks. Y ahora, crickets.
Life comes at you fast, bro. Like I always say, life comes at you fast, dog.
Hey, man, we got some people watching here. Anthony L, what's
Anthony
up? Tim
L, what up? What up?
Gonzalez,
What up, bro? What up?
what's up? And then David
What's up, Lost
Atwater.
Saturday Night? Tim
Rangers
Gonzalez.
in the
Yeah.
playoffs is all that matters. Hey, bro.
I mean, they
True,
are technically
true.
right. They are. I mean,
They say they dominated the Rays in the regular season. Hey, bro,
okay.
the
Hey,
postseason's a different story, man. Different
hey.
story.
Again, anyone could come out of it, but that's true. That's
Exactly.
true. That's true.
And then you hand over fist. He says, "What's
Hanover
happening, JP?"
Fist. What's up, my man? What's
And
up? What's up?
Spurnandez. And Tim Gonzalez says, "My Duke
My
boys
two boys
dropped to
dropped to
19th
19.
in this week's
Okay.
AP poll."
All right. All right.
Mira,
Gotta keep
Tim
an eye on
Gonzalez, the
Duke.
boss man.
Tim Gonzalez, my man. My man. What's up, my man? What's up, big dog?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, but we got to get into a talk right here real quick, man. I don't know if you saw, but the Spurs, they had media day today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That
A lot of
is
good
the
stuff.
talk. Yeah, that is the talk, man. You had everybody out here, bro. Everybody was out there covering the Spurs media day. You had Devin Vassell, you had Wemby, Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins. You had everybody out here, man. Jeremy
Pop.
Sochan, Coach Pop. You know, the only person I didn't see at media day was a pinche coyote. You know,
Hey, he was representing out at the park Saturday. They had a little party with the hype squad.
oh yeah,
Coyote was
Sunday.
there. Steph was there. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah,
We should have had her on so she could have talked to us about that, dude. Because I wanted
we
to
will.
see,
We got to get her.
yeah, somebody who
Yeah.
was there. You know, what was the vibe?
Yeah, she
What
was there
the
with the
vibe?
Spurs lady. Yeah, she was there with the Spurs lady. I don't know if you could pull up her Twitter, but she put up pictures with the hype squad and videos and stuff. It was a good time. Yeah, kids were out there. It was a family friendly event.
There she is.
Yeah, pull her up. There she is. Give her a follow at Chicana Fuerte. If you go, yeah, she had some video that she's always repping mudslings. Oh, she loves her some Zach, man. She loves her some Zach.
Yeah, I
There,
saw
yep,
that, dude, right there.
She
Zach
loves her
and
some
Dougie.
Zach, and Dougie, man. So yeah,
There it is.
yep, there it is, right there. So
That's
it was
pretty
a good
badass.
time. Yeah,
That was good
Coyote
weather
was out
for
there.
it too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that the little Necio right there?
No, he's coming up. You'll see him though in this video. There's a part of the video where he comes up and hugs the coyote. Everybody
No,
else is like, hanging out there. The Nesto runs up to him and hugs. There he is. He's
There he
there.
is.
But he'll run up to him at some part of this video and just give him a big hug. But nah, man, it was a good time. Yeah, she said it was a good time. Hype squad was out there. And she's up there. She's with the Spurs lady. Sylvia's doing good, healthy, happy.
Oh,
So yeah, man, she said it was a good time. She's repping that DAC bottle service champagne shirt.
yeah, I see that, man. Good stuff,
She's
man.
poodle, man. She's poodle.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and share some of this stuff too from the media day, so we can go ahead and talk about this.
Yeah,
because I mean, there was good things that came out of media day. Nice little sound bites here and there. Players saying the right things. There's our boy Jeff Garcia there. He was there too for media day. Hector Ledesma there, a friend of the show, was there for media day over at Sports Tonight. There's Coach Pop. He was addressing the media, man. I like this, man. You get to see the players just kind of having fun with it, talking with the media. They're not being asked a lot of serious questions. Yeah, they did ask, I mean, what are your expectations moving into the season? And they all said kind of the same thing. You know what? We don't want to talk about that. We don't really have the expectation. We just want to play hard, go out there. But I think the low key, though, they want to make a statement. They want to come out and show the world, hey, we're here. Don't forget about us. We're going to make a name for ourselves this season. You all watch,
Oh, yeah.
And I like that, man. I even like what Wemby had to say. Wemby was out there and he was saying a lot of the right things too. So was Zach Collins. Keldon Johnson, man. Some people were saying Keldon looked disinterested, And I'm like, I don't know if I would say he looked disinterested. Maybe he's just one of these guys that was like, hey, man, I'm tired. It's the media day. I just want to get in and get this thing going. Maybe he's starting to start working, with his teammates. So I don't know if he was disinterested, but I think he was just, maybe he just wasn't feeling it all that much. Maybe he's not a guy who likes to talk to the media all that bad,
Right. Could be.
But I mean, what were your little tidbits that you took away from Spurs Media Day?
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm on West Coast time, right? So it's 10 o'clock here, right? So, but I did get up early, and as soon as I got up, I saw everybody getting ready for Media Day, right? What I did like is, hey, from Pop on down, and I tweeted this, they all said they want to win, right? There's a lot of back and forth about like, oh, do they want to win? I mean, they want to win, right? So they're not out there to just, let's develop. Yes, they want to develop, but they also want to win. And Pop said it from the jump, and all of them have said the same. So I think last year was, a different year. This year, they want to win. They're out there to win. How many games they win and all that remains to be seen. But having the want and the desire and the drive, first and foremost, is a good start. I know they talked about Keldon, and I think he's talking about being an elite defender, right? He says, hey, I think I could still be an elite defender, right? And of course, that drew some naysayers, right?
Yeah.
I actually don't disagree with that in the sense of, I feel like last year he was, they were playing him at the 4, at the 3. He really didn't have his position set. So maybe that was part of his defensive woes. And I think, if you're solidifying him at a position that's his right position, I think the defense will increase. So all around good. Yeah.
They played him a lot of small forward. They played him at that small forward position a lot.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I think what happened with him is that he was garnering a lot of attention from a lot of teams because arguably he was the go-to guy for the San Antonio Spurs. Right. So the mentality is, let's go ahead and take the head of the snake off. So they would attack him, double team him, triple team him, and just make life miserable for him. Wouldn't give him the angles to go ahead and get the passing, his passes off the right way. They were going ahead and covering the passing angles and all that. They weren't letting him get going. They wouldn't let him get going, as far as trying to go ahead and kind of bull rush his way to the rim. He had to be very methodical about it. And it was just hard for him, man. They would get him out of rhythm early. His shots weren't falling. And it was just hard for him to score. You combine that with injuries that the Spurs had. It just wasn't a great season. At the end, near the end of the season, a lot of the teammates that he had on the team were riddled with injury. So it just made things a little harder for him to score. And I mean, it was frustrating, I'm sure. But this season's going to be a different season. You got Wemby, man, and that's what they all talked about. You got Wembyama kind of being the anchor in the paint. He's going to be a difference maker, no doubt. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Spurs do with one Keldon Johnson. Where are they going to go ahead and put him? Are they going to put him in the starting lineup? Is he going to be coming off the bench? That's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. I personally believe Coach Pop, he's going to have him coming off the bench. That's just me, though. What do you think?
So somebody asked him about that, right? And Coach Pop, his response was pretty epic. It was, if Manu Ginobili can come off the bench, anybody can. That's all he had to say. He didn't go into detail about who's going to come off the bench, right? But that makes sense to me, right? He said, hey, Manu came off the bench, anyone can. It's going to be interesting. I think I say the logical 5 best players are Zach, Wemby, Keldon, Jeremy, and Devin, right? Like, to me, that's the starting 5, quote unquote. That might be the closing 5, if you will.
Yeah.
Whether the question's going to be, does Pop want a traditional point guard in Tre, right? Are we playing position ball? Are we playing your best available, right? Because when it comes to position ball, a true point guard is Tre, right? And then which would leave an odd man out, which it wouldn't be surprised if it's Keldon. And again, he may flourish in that 6-man role, right? He could flourish in that 6-man role. So it's going to be interesting because someone's going to come off the bench. And again, there's going to be I feel like there's going to be different sets, right? Sometimes Pop may say, let's roll with the traditional point guard starting 5. Other times it might be, no, Devin can handle the ball. Jeremy can handle the ball. More and more the NBA goes towards positionless basketball, right? Wemby can handle the ball. So do you need a traditional point guard? It also depends on who you're matched up with, I think, right? So it's going to be interesting. JC, my man, it's going to be interesting. If I had to bet, I would say Keldon off the bench. A wild card would be Jeremy off the bench. But I don't know. I mean, I think his budding stardom is going to be tough to say, hey, go to the bench. But also, again, any one of those guys would flourish off the bench. I think, though, at the end of the day, no matter who comes off the bench, the minutes aren't going to get hurt, right? Like, you're going to have your closers, right? And Pop has done that in the past, and Pop has technically played certain people in certain positions. Just Dwan Blair was technically the center, but Tim was really the anchor. So it's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, and there's an interesting, I guess, stat that Jimenez had shared. I think it was earlier today, probably early in the morning. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here.
I
And he
saw
goes,
that.
before the season starts, tankathon. He says predicts the Spurs having both number 6 and 7th picks in next year's draft.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my man, Jimenez already starting, bro. It's too early, bro.
It's too early for him, bro. It's too early for him and starting his nonsense, dog. Like, I think I'm telling you, man, he's a masochist, man. He loves punishment, man. He's a glutton for punishment because he just loves it, man. He does it to himself.
He's just, like I said, he's that rotisserie chicken, bro. Just constantly getting cooked, man.
Yeah.
Constantly. All the time. But anyway, man, I don't think that it's going to be like that for the Spurs. Hopefully, the Spurs aren't going to be a lottery team, but they did make some moves, here on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's interesting. It was nothing more than okay. They made a move, and they're moving on from their from one of their veterans that they had made a trade for. So I'm like, oh. It was ho hum, it wasn't like, what was his name, Reggie Bullock? They went ahead.
Reggie Bullock, yeah. I mean, I think those guys were part of trades that I think that the pick was really the main goal that they were going after. So it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the Spurs organization has a history of doing stuff like this, where you get a guy, waive him, or buy him out, different things. Bullock's a solid guy. I mean, I think he could help a team. But I think with the guys that they have, and again, it's where are you? Pick your poison. You bring a vet, but is he going to take minutes from the young guys? You know what I mean? And how is that going to operate, right? So, there's still one more cut to be made, right? Everybody, Kem Birch is like the Jason Voorhees. He has 9 lives. He's still there. They signed us a training camp deal. A guy that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
crazy stuff that they did. This is what they did. So they went ahead and they waived Reggie Bullock, Seth Milner Jr., Raekwon and Gray, Raekwon Gray on Saturday, right? So they also signed Charles Bediako, right?
Yeah, I believe he played on their summer league, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think this move here is he's probably going to be delegated to the Austin. Spurs. They'll probably go ahead and have him here for training camp and whatnot. Waive him, then go ahead and pick him up over there. He'll play with the Austin Spurs. Okay, but they still have some spots open. So again, interesting to see who they're going to pick up, who they're going to try to give chances to. And again, they're just making moves behind the scenes. I mean, this shouldn't really come as a surprise to Spurs fans, unless they were waving like C.D. Usman or something like that. Then they'd be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And they showed C.D. Usman too. He was over there, in media day.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be part of I think he's going to be part. I think he's going to be that piece off the bench that comes off as spark every once in a while.
Yeah.
I feel like the Spurs have had their eye on him for a while. I feel like I remember, a few years ago, some talks about him coming over, and he fits right. He had the international flavor. He's a shooter, right? He's like one of those typical Spurs players from back in the day that, he ain't going to be a star. He ain't going to be a starter, a Steve Kerr type guy, a dude that just comes off the bench and starts knocking down shots for you, right? Or Roger Mason, right? Somebody like that can get hot, right? And I think this guy with a reinvigorated team, and he doesn't got to be the main guy or even the top 3 or 4 or 5 guys. He could come off the bench and do some damage, right? I feel like he's going to be one of those fan favorites that comes off and gets hot and hits some shots and clutch moments. Like I said, like a Roger Mason, like a Gary Neal.
Yeah. They have Tre Jones as a backup PG. That's what STP11 saying.
I mean, I love Tre, man. I really do. I think Tre is solid, and he's a good defender. He does all the right things. He'd be an amazing backup. You know what I'm saying? If you had another star point guard, if you will. I'm interested to see if the Spurs come the trade deadline or are actually in making noise and there's something there. Maybe they make a trade at the trade deadline, right? Again, I know this is not characteristics for the Spurs. It's not people are like, no way, whatever. This is a new era with Wemby. There's a new thing going. if they make noise, if they're somewhere and contending come trade deadline, maybe they do make a move. They have assets, they have things there. I don't know. We'll see. Again, like I always say, I'm not like some of these Twitter folks who absolutely know what's gonna happen. They know what's gonna happen. They know what Pop and RC are doing. They know everything, right? I don't know any of that.
They
I
got
don't
the
pretend to know
inside information.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They already know. They already know what's gonna happen. Why even watch the games? They know they know what's gonna happen this season,
I
apparently.
already know the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. I already know the outcome. They swear they know everything. I never talk in absolutes because I don't know, right? I really don't, right?
Nobody
I
does.
think
Nobody does, man. At the
right.
end of the day,
Hey, my man right here said Sadie Osman is his nephew. That's interesting because Turkey played for the Spurs a little bit. That's it. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah.
That's cool. Well,
but yeah, man. So
weird
we'll see.
connection there, right? What a weird connection.
That is.
To the Spurs.
That is. Yeah. I know he's from Turkey. I do know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
It wasn't a lot of the things that the players had to say, in particular, I like what Wemby had to say. He just wants to go out there and win. And he said he gained about 10 to 15 pounds since he's been here in San Antonio.
Tacos, bro. He's on the prowl, man. Them tacos.
Somebody invited him to the asada, vato. They invited him to the asada. He was out there eating tacos, asada, pastor.
Yep.
He's eating those tacos.
We gotta get Chris Leja to cook for him, man. To throw down on that grill, and we gotta bring him. We gotta get him going.
Pull up. We got you, homie. Pull up.
Mm-hmm.
But it is bound to happen. He put on 10 to 15 pounds, and I think it's because he's been working out a lot with the players, trying to find that healthy median in between. They want him to put on a little bit of weight, but not too much because it's going to affect his longevity in the league. So he just wanted him to bulk up with muscle. Doesn't mean that he has to put on a ton of weight. We don't want him to look like Yao Ming or nothing.
Right.
Still, you want him comfortable at that playing weight that he's going to be entering the league in, and you don't want him to be in. So I think it's a good, healthy median in between. So I like that he had to say. He just wants to come in. He wants to help the team. He wants to win. He seems like he really loves being here in San Antonio, and he loves the people because he said, I feel blessed that the people have embraced me. Like he really feels connected to the culture, the people here in San Anto. And by him going to the murals and them just having them come in, he doesn't need bodyguards or nothing. Everybody's just real respectful, trying to buy him drinks. Of course he's still not a drinking age, but
like buying lemonade, buying some lemonade. So we got to get, we got to get him some special leaf, man. My man JC. We got to get him some special leaf, There
you go. Maybe that'll make its way to him pretty soon, You're always around town, so be like, hey, dude.
We'll work it. We'll work that. I got to put it in his hand. I got to put it in his hand.
But you feel that he's loving it here. He's only been here 2 months. And it seems like he has a connection with the fan base, the people. He's embraced the city. He's loving it. The fans love him, and I think this is a good thing all around because the more that you have players like Wemby, who's the next Spurs, arguably superstar, this is going to be the guy that's going to be going to the All-Star game and whatnot. That's the expectation. Having him set the tone and having the other players, the younger players that have already gone out and embraced the city. And you have Jeremy Sochan being, spotted around town, Malachi Branham. You have all these players that coming out. They taking in other sporting events, SAFC and whatnot. This is great because this is the next generation of Spurs fans, of Spurs players going out and hanging out with the fans. You love seeing that, man, because it's already here. The Wemby era is already here, man. It's here. It's not going anywhere. It's the start. And this is the beautiful thing that you like to see. This is the connections that are being made between the players and the fan base. So the bigger the connection, the stronger that bond, the more that these players want to go out there and win. Not just because they want to win together collectively as a team, but they also want to win for the city, dude. They want to win for the fans. And that's so special because like we saw, remember in the days of old, when the Spurs went on their championship runs, every time that team went further and further and further into the playoffs, it was special. It was that special bond between the players and the fan. And you feel like that's happening again, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, man. The honking down commerce, right? All that stuff. Fiesta has a different vibe when the Spurs are in the playoffs. And listening to you talk, man, I started just all this stuff started coming to my head, and I started thinking about it. I think everyone deserved to feel special. That's right, JC. I think okay, he's from France, right? And I've been overseas, right? I've been blessed through my time in the Marine Corps to visit other countries, right? So I've been to Spain, Italy, Greece, Europe, and I feel like people are they're big cities and stuff, but they're tight, right? They're small, like there's like villages and there's historical landmarks, right? And all this stuff, right? And I feel like in a way, yeah, I do need to take Wemby to Bill Miller. I feel like in a way, Wemby is kind of finding in a strange way, San Antonio very similar to his time in France and in Europe. I would be interested to hear somebody ask him that, right? I might have to hit up my man Theo, who's he's a reporter from France that's here. I met him at the Wemby watch party, and he's in, not here, but he's in San Antonio covering media day, and he's going to be around, right? So I'm going to link up with him when I'm there in 2 weeks. I feel like maybe that's has something to do with it, right? When you're in France and these different countries, you're beloved as a star, like, and you're beloved, but you could go amongst the people, right? You could walk around, you could be around. There's like, and it's like a cult following, but you're part of us, right? So I feel like that's what he's starting to feel here, right? That's one thing about San Antonio is exactly. He's one of us. San Antonio has like a big city and small city feel to it, right? And when you go around and you go to the murals and you're around the people, I feel like he's feeling the same kind of connection that he did feel when he was in Europe and overseas, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with big markets, LA, New York, right, and Miami. These places, those are amazing places to live and party and hang out. I've been there, right? I love those places, but I don't think you get that in an LA. You know what I mean? Or New York, right? You're not going to get that feel of, hey, you're one of us. It's culture. Let's go to the murals. Let's go to the bar and have a lemonade. Let's go hang out, right? And there's so much going on in LA. You're one of many stars in LA. You know what I mean? Yes, you're a big star, but get in line, right? Look at Taylor Swift, right? At the game, she has Wolverine and my other man there, and no one even paid them no attention. Right, she has Ryan Reynolds and what's his name?
Blake Lively.
Yeah, all them, right? They're all there, right? And everyone's like, oh yeah, look, Taylor's there. I'm just saying, like, in an LA market, in a New York market, there's a lot of pros there's a lot of pros, and then I'm talking pros and cons. There's a lot of pros for somebody to go to a big market. There really is, right? But when I'm talking about like what he wants, right? He seems to be kind of a humble dude, wants a family atmosphere, like my man is talking about. That's what he probably had in France, and that's what he had over there in Europe. That's what he's used to and what he likes, right? So I don't know. That's just me, honestly, off the top of my head right now, and kind of hearing what you were saying. I think that's kind of something there. He's enjoying the like I said, the murals, the hanging out, the going to the different events here in San Antonio, and I think it's going to get just even more enamored with the city, and the city's going to get enamored with him, and it's going to be a fun ride, man. Like it really is.
I think what he's starting to feel now is he's starting to understand how important it is to, I guess, be a San Antonio Spur, and not only that, but like I said, that connection that he's already forming with the fan base. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself right now. His rookie year, he knows how bad these fans want to win, and I think he wants to win for them too, not only for himself, of course, and his teammates, and work hard and do all that, but he knows, man, I want to win this for them. They're good people. San Antonio's filled with good people. And I think he really embraced it. I don't think he really knew what it was all about. Because, I mean, he's talked to Manu. He's talked to Timmy. He's talked to Tony. He's talked to Pop and everybody else and the other players that have been here. But until you go out there and you experience it and you see it firsthand, it changes you. And I think him being here in just this short amount of time, it's changed him. He might have thought he knew San Antonio. He doesn't know it. He didn't know it until he went out there and he mingled with the people, and now that he's mingled with the people, this is going to be a long love affair between Wemby and the people of San Antonio. And that, like I said, again, that bond right there, man, and that bond is strong, man. These players are going to go out there and they're going to want to win. And that's all you heard him say. We want to win. We want to win. Even Devin Vassell, he got bulked up, dude. He bulked up a little bit more. You can see he's been busy working.
Yeah.
He had a lot of great things to say. They said, how's the knee? Oh, it feels great. He feels great. He just wants to get out there, He wants to play. And I had said this too. Look for Devin Vassell to be arguably be one of the Spurs' best players when it comes to defense, right there with Jeremy Sochan.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of said this too in his press conference. Hey, I want to get my defensive game up, and it's like he can be. I'm not saying that he's going to be Kawhi, but he could be the Spurs' best two-way player on the team, no doubt in my mind. And I think this is going to be his year. As long as he stays healthy, man, I have high expectations for Devin Vassell. I even think he could possibly be the Spurs' highest scoring player on the team this coming season. Those are just my thoughts. I mean, how are you feeling about him and working on his defense? And do you think he could be one of the best two-way players the Spurs have?
You know what, man? I think you're right. I'll tell you this. Before injuries last year, Devin was on track.
He was
to at least be in the talks of All-Star. I'm just saying I don't want to be overzealous in what I'm talking about, but I will say that before, if you remember, beginning of the season before injuries, I know it was early and it was a small sample, but he was looking like he was going to be at least in a discussion about in an All-Star game. And I think the health is what's going to keep him like you said, as long as he's healthy, then yes, he can be, he's explosive on the offense. We already know what he can do. He's a good defender, right? He's long, he's quick. Yeah, I think this is going to be a breakout year for Devin. I really do. And
yeah, look at David Atwater. Yeah, he's saying Devin and Wemby will lead the team in scoring. I have no doubt.
Again, all the attention that's going to go to Wemby, right, is going to open up for Devin, Keldon, Jeremy, all these guys, obviously, right? That goes without saying. But I think. I'm excited for Devin. This is gonna be a good breakout year for him.
Don't ever say the quitter's name again. He's talking about the Deuce. We'll name him the Deuce. That's what what's his name? My friend Wesley Perkins calls him the Deuce. Yeah, my son, he was talking to me about him tomorrow in the morning too, before he went to school. We're kind of chopping it up, talking about Spurs. My baby boy, he's already gonna be 18 years old, and he was telling me about Kawhi. I was like, no, but I don't say that name here, man. I was like,
if anybody wants to know anything about Kawhi, just check my pin tweet. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do is check my pin tweet.
No, but dude, it's fun, dude. I'm gonna miss those conversations with my boy, dude, when he goes off to college. He's in his senior year right now. But just having those little conversations, chopping it up, talking Spurs and this Cowboys and all that with him, man. I'm gonna miss that.
Oh, it's fun, man. It's fun. That's one thing. Like I said, my boys are grown too. I do got a 16-year-old, but through we get together, we start talking Spurs, we start talking boxing, we start talking Cowboys, and that bond is always there. That's why I'm such a sports fanatic too, is because it's more than that. It's a bond that my sons and I have had since they were little kids, right? And so
same here, dude.
Yeah, they grow up and they have their own lives and they do everything, right? That's how life is. But we always come back to be connected when it comes to Spurs games, Cowboys games, big fights,
Exactly, man. My boy, my oldest, was talking to me about the Canelo fight and this and that. We're kind of talking about it yesterday. And he was telling me this morning, he was texting me before I did the show. He's like, hey, Dad, when do you want me to go down there so we can watch the games in November? Because he's going to come down and visit us in November. So I was giving him the days, that I have the season tickets and all that. Hey, we can go this day, we can go that day. So I gave him some choices, man. He's like, okay, let me see what I can do to get off. But as old as he is, he still remembers me taking him to the Spurs games, and he remembers that. So they like doing that. It doesn't matter how big they get. They like coming back and watching the game with Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, man, so let's go ahead and pause real quick and have a quick read from one of our sponsors, MCS General Contracting. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. Yeah, thanks, Christopher Leha. We appreciate you, big dog. Make sure you call him.
What does he say?
The hardest concrete in the business, diamond hard. You can either get it cheap or you can get it done right. You want it done right, Call MCS General Contracting. Tell my boy Christopher Leja, you heard it here first. We sent you his way. His number is 210-774-9155. Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and get back into this sports talk here, man. We had, like I said, you had the Astros, the Rangers, you had the Spurs Media Day that was popping off. And the other thing that was popping off, the one thing that we can't forget about, it's los puro pinche Cowboys. I know how you're walking into the office today.
You know how I'm walking in.
Your little flag going. All the haters going to hate. Nobody's going to look at you in the eye. They ain't got nothing to say because the Cowboys, they put an ass whooping on Belichick and the Patriots, man.
Worst loss they said is the worst loss Belichick had, right? He benched Mac Jones.
Era.
Yeah. His era. Yeah.
38-3, dude. This was unexpected. I thought the Patriots were actually going to win this game. The Patriots, they shit the bed something awful, bro. They came in here, and I even thought, I thought Zeke, they're going to play the tribute video for Zeke. He's going to have a great game. Nope. They shut that down, dude. I mean, this was an ass whooping from the beginning to the end. This was a complete game for the Dallas Cowboys. They were able to score the red zone. The defense looked like the defense that we were accustomed to seeing. But again, it's against the Patriots. And the Patriots aren't the Patriots of old. That's a different team. But the Cowboys, they have a tough game coming up. They're going to be facing the 49ers, dude, who are undefeated. Yeah. So that's going to be a good test for the Cowboys. But what were your thoughts on this game? I mean, were you out there screaming and yelling, "Puro pinche Cowboys"?
Oh yeah. I'm out here in San Diego, and I'll tell you what, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of Cowboys fans out here. There's a lot of Cowboys fans here in SoCal.
Hey, Cowboys fans travel well, bro. We travel well.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of Cowboys fans here in Southern California. But yeah, no, I was watching it with my sons, and they did. They struggled a little bit at first in the red zone, right? The same red zone woes kind of started, which they got to clean up, man, or they got to not get in the red zone and just score deep. I don't know what they got to do, right? But then they finally score in the red zone. The defense was there, right? Bland was on point. Micah was doing his thing. You got some touchdowns from defense. But yeah, Dak just didn't make mistakes, right? Did what he was supposed to. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out, because the first 2 weeks they look like world beaters. They didn't look great against Arizona. We don't know if that's the one-off. They look better. They look back to form against the Patriots. We'll find out. Will the real Dallas Cowboys please stand up? We'll find out this week against the 49ers. This is the test. Yeah, this is a big one.
Hey man, I gotta say, man, that hat, that little cap there that Dak was wearing after the game, that had like all those colors on it, dude. Hey man, that thing was fire, bro.
Yeah, they were wearing it. There was like sweaters that they were wearing with those colors. Like it was cool. It was really cool. I'm
gonna snag me one, dude.
Yeah. He actually had a little slip up. I don't know if y'all saw it on live TV where he said, I had to pause it and rewind it because I had to make sure he said it when they interviewed him, and he said, Aaron Andrews, I believe, and he said, nobody should bitch about that performance. And I rewinded it because I was like, did he just say that? And he kind of made a face like, but I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's just funny, right, to see that. It just shows, hey, that hey, he's saying like, hey, look, we're doing what we're supposed to do. We hear all the critics, but we'll find out for the 49ers game, man. I think the defense is gonna put pressure on Purdy. The defense is gonna show up. Where we're gonna find out, is the offense, what the offense can do versus the 49ers. I think that's where the key is going to be.
Here's the thing with the 49ers, man. The 49ers have a really good defense, and their offense is good enough to win games, And I think what's going to happen with the Cowboys is they're going to have their defense is going to have to play a stellar game, and the defense is going to have to score either, pick six,
picks, fumbles, something.
Whatever they got to do, man, to make this game change this into the Cowboys' favor. In other words, change the trajectory into the Cowboys' favor, because it's going to be tough for the Cowboys to score, especially getting in that red zone with this San Francisco 49ers defense, man. It's a tough defense.
It needs to be a low-scoring game, right? It can't be a shootout. It can't be a offensive bombs. If it's a low-scoring game and all that, I think the Cowboys and their defense have a chance. But Yeah, Bland had 2 picks, one for pick 6. Mario says that's true. Bland stepped up, man, big time. Which, man, we waiting. We just wish we had Diggs, but hey, we got to roll with who we have. But
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
kudos
you're
to
right.
him
I think
for stepping up.
the defense is going to be the key against the 49ers.
It is, man, and the Cowboys need to continue to win because los pinche Eagles, los lechuzas cagadas, they keep winning
overtime,
too,
bro. I thought they were gonna lose, bro. I thought the Commanders had them. They were in overtime, and I was like, man, the Eagles are gonna lose, and they found a way to win, man. So yeah, Cowboys got to stay on pace, because it's gonna come down to the NFC East.
Man, the freaking Commanders, bro, se lo cagaron, dude. They had a chance. They had a chance, but their defense just couldn't hold them, man. The defense just couldn't hold the line, dude. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop the Eagles, man. And unfortunately, the Commanders, they get handed an L in OT. This is a game they could have won, dude. It's gonna come back and haunt them. So, man, I'm excited about this game that's going to be coming up next week between the Cowboys and the 49ers, man. But we
Sunday
also
night. Sunday night game too.
Sunday night game. Big one. Prime time, prime time, baby. So that means some drinking is going to be going on.
Oh, you already know. You already know.
Ya sabes, bro. I'm going to be over there at the sports bar. Probably be.
Hey, I think, the next day is I don't know what they call it anymore, right? It used to be Columbus Day, but I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore. So I'm off Monday. I'm off that next Monday. So Sunday,
exactly, bro. I think I'm off Monday too.
If you're off Monday for Indigenous Peoples Day, Columbus Day, whatever you want to call it, we're celebrating. So,
ya sabes, dude. If it's especially we're gonna be off on Monday, man, it's over, bro. I'm gonna have to take
Chris
an Uber.
Chris Leha, he ain't even a Cowboys fan, but he'll be throwing them down. He'll be throwing them back.
Exactly. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna go to a sports bar, or maybe I'll just have the cookout here for the gente, for my familia.
Yeah. That might be one that I might go watch at a bar or at a Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that with my sons. I don't know. That might be a one that I'm gonna have to go to because I just thought about it right now about being off on Monday. So
the weather's supposed to be good that weekend, dude. And I have the projector frame. I already built it in the backyard, so it's a permanent structure there. I just got to put the projector screen out and invite the familia over. I have the little fire pit y todo, Let's do it, man.
Bro. There you go.
Yeah, man. So we had some other games too. It's some teams won that I didn't think were gonna win, and teams lost that I think we're gonna lose that bad. Like one of them, I picked the Panthers, man, to beat the Vikings, and the Panthers lost to the Vikings. They had them on the ropes, but Primo Cousins came back, bro. He brought the team back, and he willed them to victory, 21-3. And this one, man, I had the Bears beating the Broncos.
Man,
I'm like, come on, man. The Bears are really the worst team in the NFL right now. I know they broke my girl's heart. Carolina Teague, she's one of our good friends here. I had to go and poke the bear a little bit. Tell her, you doing all right, girl? You all right?
Pun intended.
She texts me back, no. I tell her, you keep believing in this team, and they keep breaking your damn heart. When are you going to come to terms, man? They're just, they are that bad. They are that bad. And the other team, man, that I thought, okay, man, I don't know if they have a shot against the Steelers. Those pinche Texans, dude, they dominated the Steelers 30-6, bro.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm not a Texans fan, but I'll tell you what, that quarterback's got a little something. That quarterback, CJ's got a little something out there. And I ain't going to lie, man, the red uniforms are pretty hard. Those red uniforms, I ain't going to lie, man, were pretty hard. They got something cooking with that kid at quarterback. Yeah,
man. The other thing, too, Chiefs and Jets. This was the primetime game, man.
Yeah. Hey, Jets made it a fight. Jets made it a fight. I'll tell you what, man. They were down 17-0. It looked like it was a wrap. T Swizzle was doing her thing. Everybody was excited. She had Wolverine and Deadpool, whoever upstairs with her.
Yeah.
And then Zach Wilson showed up.
He finally decided to play
the game. Yeah. But I tell you, it was a costly fumble, man. At that snap, right? But they made it a good game. I will say they did it. And Patrick Mahomes had 2 interceptions. Was about to have a third. Kind of got taken back by a controversial call, but he was a little bit off too. And then he pulled it off at the end like he always does, man. So it was a good game.
Yeah, man. I felt bad for Zach Wilson though, man. All the shit that everybody's giving him, and I said myself,
he's in a tough position. He's in a tough position, man.
I'm tough. I'm done with the Jets, bro. I always have him. I had him in the last 2 weeks in my parlay, and they messed up my parlay twice. They belong to the streets now. I'm never gonna have them in my parlay ever again. I don't believe in them. I wish them the best, bro, but I'm done with them. I'm done with them. But I felt bad for Zach Wilson. After the game, you saw his teammates consoling him, and he's like, I fucked up. I fucked up.
Yeah. He said, I lost it, right? You could read his lips. He said, he goes, I lost it. He goes, that was on me. I mean, as a leader taking it on himself, I mean, I think there's something there, some character there. But yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one for him. He's in a tough situation. You know, he really is. But he fought back, man. He fought hard. So.
Look, Tex-Mex Frank, Cowboys cannot play mental ball and make mistakes.
Mental ball. That's
they are riding high after giving Belichick a nalga.
That's facts. I could have said it better myself. Tex-Mex Frank, you know.
They give him a nalgada. You know, they beat the shit out of the freaking Patriots, man. You know, Bill Belichick, he always has that face, bro. That resting bitch face. He's never happy. He's always like, fuck. And even after the game, he had to go and shake McCarthy's hand. You know, he don't want to be there. He don't want to do none of that crap, dude. He's like, yeah, y'all kicked our ass and what? You know, he's like, let's get off the field. I can go yell at people, you know.
He got that Canelo ass whooping, man.
Hey, that's another thing we're going to talk about here. But before we go ahead and start talking about a little bit of that boxing, we got to go ahead and pause real quick. Have another ad read from our friends over at Serenity Manor. Serenity Manor is an events venue located at 14405 Old Bandera Road, across from Flores Country Store, set in a historic building that is over 100 years old. You can have a baby shower, bridal showers, quinceañeras, sweet 16s, corporate events, weddings. There's an indoor and outdoor venue with a dance floor and a sand volleyball court out in the back, set under the shade of the trees, and there is beautiful lighting in the evenings. Serenity Manor is a very beautiful place that is very family oriented, and they have rotating Thursday nights. They have karaoke and game nights. They also have a bar that serves beer, wine, and margaritas. So after a concert at Flores Country Store, you can go over, diagonal across the street, catty corner, grab a beer, get away from the crowd, and check out the beautiful Serenity Manor. Yeah, so make sure you go check out Serenity Manor. They got rotating Thursday nights where they have family game night, and they also have karaoke night. Again, it's a great place to take the kids. You know, you can take them there. They're not all getting shit-faced and becoming obnoxious and all that. Great family atmosphere. You can go ahead and check them out. They're at 14405 Old Bandera Road in Helotes, Texas. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about what else, man? Our favorite pastime, boxing.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of the show.
We have Super Mexicano himself, the Super Mexican. Canelo, puro pinche Canelo, dude.
Yeah.
Canelo looked like Canelo, dude. Charlo did not stand a chance. He beat his ass from the beginning all the way to the end. He dominated, very dominating performance by Canelo. I was glad to see Canelo fighting like Canelo. I mean, Charlo didn't even look like he had any resistance. He didn't have any fight in him, dude. You had other boxers calling him out, saying that he was embarrassing. I mean, bro, this was a dominating performance by Canelo. I mean, do you think Charlo had any business being in that ring?
So, first off, the whole card was good, right? There was a really good undercard.
Oh, yeah.
Our guy, Mario Barrios, El Azteca from San Antonio, had a big signature win. That was a huge win for him against Ugas. Ugas is a very quality opponent. Beat Pacquiao, been in the ring with Errol Spence. Mario Barrios getting that win was huge for him and for San Antonio. So shout out to El Azteca, Mario Barrios. You know, listen, like I said it last week, Charlo went up 2 weights. That's a very difficult thing to do, man. Charlo has the belts in his weight class, 154. To move up 2 weights is pretty difficult. I thought he'd be a little bit slick in the beginning, but Canelo was on point, man. Canelo was from jump. He knew that he had the dominating performance. Canelo dropped him with a body shot at one point. He wasn't really hurt. Charlo just took a knee and was like, "Ooh, man!" Like, yeah, he knew he was in over his head. I think at some point Charlo just said, "Hey, I'm gonna go the distance. I'm gonna have a moral victory in saying I went the distance." Because yeah, he really didn't put up much of any kind of resistance. I scored it round by round, 12-0 in rounds to Canelo. He looked solid. He looked sharp. He looked good. He didn't even sit down in between rounds. If you go back and watch the fights, he was standing up in between rounds, right? But yeah, Charlo Canelo, dominant performance. Who's next, right? That's what everybody wants to know, right? Who's next?
Give us a fight that we want to see as fans, you know, like now, Canelo, he's what, 32, 33 years of age?
Yep, something like about 33, I believe. Yeah.
You got to take one. You got to take that other huge fight,
So
that's
yeah,
gonna put you on the pedestal on
yeah,
the argument of being one of the greatest boxers of all time. In order to be up there on
yeah,
that pedestal, you got to beat the best. You got to beat
yeah,
the best.
yeah. And Canelo's resume is outstanding. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is, right? You look through his resume; it's outstanding. I think he's definitely solidified himself as one of the best, definitely one of the best Mexican fighters ever. There's actually a connection. So we have David Benavidez, right? He's fighting Demetrius Andrade in San Antonio on November 25th, the Thanksgiving weekend, right? So that one just got announced to be in San Antonio. And David Benavidez, they call him the Mexican Monster. If you haven't seen him, he's a beast, right? He beat Caleb Plant recently. He's knocking on Canelo's door. He's not as well known, but he's a big fighter, big super middleweight. He young, strong, hungry. The question is he ready for a Canelo, or is he catching Canelo at the right time? So that would
They
be a
always
good
think
fight.
they're ready until they step in the
Well,
ring.
yeah,
And
exactly. Of
yeah.
course. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody always has a game plan until you get punched.
Yeah.
So David Benavidez is fighting Bubu Andrade in San Antonio Thanksgiving weekend, which is going to be a good fight, actually. The other Charlo brothers on the undercard on that fight now. He's fighting Jose Benavidez, which is David's brother. I think David Benavidez could be the next in line for Canelo, which would be a big fight maybe in May. I think, when I first heard people talk about Canelo fighting Terrence Crawford, and at first I thought, that sounds like a pipe dream. I actually think that might be the fight. That it could happen maybe in September. That would be a big fight. Terrence Crawford is one of the best in the world right now after beating Spence. I don't know the size difference though. He would be coming up in weight also to fight a Canelo. It would be interesting to see if that fight ever happens, Crawford versus Canelo. But I think David Benavidez is definitely one of the contenders up next. He's fighting in San Antonio in November. And actually, just this morning was announced Ryan Garcia's next fight is December 2nd at the Alamo Dome.
King Ryan
is coming to San Antonio December 2nd. Mark your calendars. I just saw it this morning. He's fighting a tune-up, in a way, a guy named Oscar Duarte. Tough dude, but I think Ryan is looking at this as a tune-up for a bigger fight in the future. But it's December 2nd at the Alamo Dome. I just saw that this morning. I'm excited that the fights are coming to San Antonio, man. Yeah. I'm excited that more and more fights are coming to San Antonio, right?
Hey, man, that Techport Arena, dude, is where it's at, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a good venue, man, to go check out a fight. It's not humongous, so you have that more intimate setting, where you can, no matter where you're sitting, you're going to have a good view of the ring. Yeah, good view of the ring. Yeah. And the facilities are great, man. They're on point.
Mm-hmm.
They have easy access to get drinks. Bathrooms are right there on either side where you're sitting, on the left or the right. You want to go to the main concourse, you can go out there, get something to eat, get some, drinks or whatever you need. I mean, everything's in easy access, reachable. And I like the layout, like I said, it's a great facility, state of the art, so I know that they're going to start getting more and more fights to come over there. They already had PBC come out there. They had some UFC fight came through there as well. Or mixed, should I say, combat sports? So it's becoming the hot spot in San Antonio, to go and have a boxing match. So looking forward to that, man. And I hope Ryan gets his stuff together, man, because he thought he was ready for Tank. He clearly wasn't, man. And I think he had to get humbled in order for him to really get hungry again. You still have other things in the game you need to work on,
Right. Hey, he trains trainers. He's with Derek James now, who's an outstanding trainer. I know, he's Spence's trainer. He's trainer with Charlo. So, obviously he's taken a couple of L's recently, but those are big mega fights. But Derek James is a really, really good trainer, and Ryan Garcia has moved to his camp. And I've seen some of the workouts, and I feel like Derek James is going to get him where he needs to go. Ryan, I think, has a lot of talent, right? He has a lot of tools. He needed to kind of, like you said, get it honed and kind of go back to the basics, right? I think he was relying on his talent and his speed alone and reflexes, right? He's like a twitchy, fast fighter. Yeah. I like Ryan. I met him actually when he lives here in San Diego, and I met him at a beach. Literally, I saw him at a beach. I look over and Ryan is hanging out there with his family having a barbecue. I took a picture with him. Super cool guy, humble kid, but I think he's got the tools, and I like him, but it's interesting. They're going to see what he does post Tank, right? Tank's a beast, man. Hopefully he learns from that loss.
Yeah, the thing with Ryan, man, is that Tank just dispatched him easily. He found the chink in the armor, just went underneath those punches, worked that body, and sure enough, man, he dropped him with that kidney shot, And like that is nasty, dude. When you get hit like that, you don't always feel it right away. And he felt it, and he's like, "No, I can get up. No, I can't." You know,
I've been hit like that, bro. I've been in the ring, and I've been hit like that. I tell you what, you get hit right there, bro. Your mind says to get up, and your body just won't let you, bro. I've been there. Yep, I've been there, man. I'm telling you, I've been hit right there, and your mind is saying get up, but your body just won't respond.
You get stunned, bro. It's like a stunner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You freeze up, like you just like you're in so much pain, bro.
Yeah, your body it literally temporarily paralyzes you. Like it really does. You know, I'll take a punch to the chin any day of the week. A punch to the right part of your body, bro. Your whole body will be paralyzed and shut down. But yeah, man, I'm just glad that the fight is landing in San Antonio. I think it's a big deal for Ryan to come out there. The Benavidez fight is going to be in San Antonio. Like we got Mario Barrios back on track. We got Bam Rodriguez fighting in Arizona soon, representing Puro. There's San Antonio being a hotbed of boxing. Is coming back to those days, the glory days of Jesse James Leja.
We have
John Michael Johnson
here, man. It's all
exactly right, exactly right. You got Jesse James Leja out in the city. Has a gym, and he's out in the community, right? So there's a lot of good young fighters come out of San Antonio that we gotta, represent and showcase. So it's exciting to me.
Yeah, hey man, we're gonna talk about Mario Barrios and Ugas. Before we do that, though, I'm gonna go ahead and have a quick pause here for one of our sponsors, Cynthia J. Sanchez. J-Par Real Estate has been a proud sponsor of ours since day one. Check out Cynthia J. Sanchez. Her reviews can't be wrong because all of the people that she sells homes to, they give her 5 stars. And say that she is prompt, that she is understanding, that she communicates well, that she calls back, that she answers questions correctly. And yes, they say that she is good at what she does. If you are in the market to buy a home, sell a home, whether it be a rental property, primary residence, or Airbnb, reach out to Cynthia J. Sanchez from J-Par Real Estate. Her number is 210-273-0748. She has 16 years of experience in real estate and is a former claims adjuster with USAA, so she knows what she's looking for when she's showing you those pre-owned homes. Give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call at 210-273-0748 for all your real estate needs. Yeah, thank you, Cynthia J. Sanchez, for being a proud sponsor of this show. Make sure you give her a call at 210-273-0748. Yeah, so let's go and talk a little bit about Barrios, dude. Barrios, man, he's one of these fighters where this last fight that he had, he again, it didn't go the way that San Antonio fans had hoped or the way that Barrios had hoped, And the thing is, I think he's starting to get back to basics again. He's looking really good as a fighter in this fight against Ugas. He came out, and Ugas, he's a Cuban fighter. He came out and he dominated, man. He dropped him twice. Even after the fight, you saw all that damage, man, that Mario Barrios put on Ugas, dude. That guy was just rolling from that one side of his face. He couldn't see out of his eye. Feel bad for the dude, man. But, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to boxing. You're going to have to fight back, bro. You're going to have to learn to put those guards up. You got to pick your hands up. You can't just be trying to duck under because Barrios got him. He's trying to go under, trying to duck under those punches. He got him with that combo, dude. And I have to say, man, Barrios looked very sharp. I liked his technique. It looked more honed. And he looked like a boxer. I got to say, again, you got to take the raza out of yourself, sometimes. And Barrios' biggest mistake, he likes to go in there and he likes to scrap it up, bro. He goes toe to toe. This time he looked more controlled. He looked like a boxer. And that's what you have to do. You have to learn how to box. You have to go in there and be methodical, dude. Pick your punches, start working the body, use your combos. When somebody shows a little weakness, man, you got to go in there and take advantage of it. I think all in all, I think Barrios is starting to come into his own. And this fight here looked outstanding, dude. What did you think?
Absolutely. So when he fought Tank, again, we were just talking about how beast of that Tank is. He was using the skill early and he looked good, and then he got caught because he wanted to go to war. He wanted to trade. He had that puro in him, right? So he's back with one of his old trainers, Bob Santos, who's with Barrios now, right? And Bob Santos is a really renowned trainer, and he looked solid. The jab was key. He dropped Ugas with a shotgun jab, is how we like to call it, where he just stuffed him, bam, and Ugas went down, right? And that jab that Barrios had all night was key, and he was working behind it. He looked solid. I would say that was his best performance. Like you said, he looked like a technical fighter. He was moving. He was boxing. Ugas couldn't see out of that eye. this should give Barrios he's back in the mix for a big fight, a big title fight or something. I mean, Barrios is always going to be in the mix. I think he represented himself very well and is in line for another big fight, but he needs to fight disciplined and smart.
His footwork was great as well. I liked his footwork in this fight. And the other fight that he had, I mean, he didn't have the footwork that he did in this one. He was a little lazy. He was trying to cheat a little bit, and kind of sloppy in his technique. But this one looked a lot better. You could tell he was ready for this fight. Kudos to his camp, and his trainers, man, for getting him ready for this one, because it's easy to get distracted, and absolutely. I did see him talking with the media a lot, which is a good thing. It's getting his name out there, getting a lot of people to get hyped for this fight. And this was the one that he wanted to do it with, because this was Canelo. He was going to be an undercard in the Canelo fight.
Yeah,
exactly. So if they didn't know who Barrios was, they know who he is now,
Absolutely.
So I love it, man. Another San Antonio product here, ties to San Antonio, getting some love, getting that dub, getting that win, I think he's going to be in contention now to go ahead and get that title fight, so we're going to see, who do you think he's going to face next?
You know what? So he's in and around the mix of 130, 140, 147, right? I think he can go anywhere around those ranges. And you got Shakur Stevenson, you got Devin Haney out there, you got all these fighters, right? You got Spence still, you got Erickson Lubin, who won a fight which was a little controversial on the other undercard fight. He's going to be in the mix, and he's with Al Heyman. He's with PBC, so he's in the mix with those guys, right? You see Sam Watson behind him and whispering in his ear as you do at a lot of those fights. So I think, I definitely think Barrios is in the mix for any of those guys, right? I would love to see him in there with those guys, a Shakur, a Devin Haney, any of those guys. Those are top level fighters, I'll tell you that. But hey, having him in the mix with those fighters is key.
Yeah, I think Barrios is ready, dude. It looks like he's got his not only his mind right, but he's got that technique down. He's got the physicality to go ahead and go the distance, man. So I think he's ready for the next level. He's ready for that title fight, man. Hope he gets I hope he gets a shot at it,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he will. I really do. I think he will. Because he's also, I mean, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, he's a hittable fighter, he's an all-action guy. Like, he's gonna come at you, but he's not hard to hit or nothing like that. So he's intriguing for those championship names, because even if he loses to them, he was out there and he put himself out there and he's going to the next level, or he beats them and he even rises higher, right? So he's exciting, right? He's young, he's a good looking kid. Like, I think he can market a fight with a big name like a Shakur Stevenson or a Haney or anybody in those weight classes. So I think he's attractive for any of those fighters to say, hey, let's make a big fight together, Hell, put it here in San Antonio or something. I don't know. Put it in Texas at the Cowboys Stadium. I don't know. Yeah.
Definitely, man. So let's go ahead and play another ad read before we start going ahead and signing off on the show for the day. Locked on Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked on Spurs. Yeah, so make sure you go and pay my boy Jeff Garcia a visit there on his Twitter. Make sure you go check him out at Jeff G Spurs Zone, and also check out his YouTube channel. I think Spurnandez left us a little too early, man. He already bounced out of here, dude. I don't know if he's having technical problems or he thought I was going to need the show right now. But either way, man, we want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching the show, interacting with us. Like always, man, we appreciate every single one of you. JC Hanover Fist, Tex-Mex Frank, Mario Cavazos, Tim Gonzalez, David Outwater, JC from Special Leaf. We appreciate every single one of you guys. And Chris Leja también, appreciate you, brother. So that's about all the time we have for today's episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. Again, we appreciate you all support. We're going to go ahead and have the show on Wednesday. Tomorrow, don't forget, we're going to have the Fantasy Gods Extra Point that'll be premiering. So you look for that on Tuesdays and on Thursdays by our very own Brandon Medina. All right, boys. We'll see you all tomorrow. Well, we'll see you all on Wednesday. Make sure you watch out for Brandon Medina tomorrow in the same time slot, 12 to 1. He's going to bring you the Fantasy Gods Extra Point. So again, we'll see you boys tomorrow. Be safe out there. We're out. Peace.